Another group of parameters is the heater parameters. There's the barrel heaters as well as the mold heat. Mold heat is an option that's most machines can add, but they're not on every machine. And on these screens, I don't always clear out the option to select this. It's just if you don't have mold heat, there's no benefit of setting these parameters. There is not much difference between the setting up of a barrel heater versus a mold heat. So one of the first options is setting up the PID loop and tuning of a barrel heater. So again, on this screen, you have the option to turn heaters on and off. You also have access to the current and set point values for those zones. But you also have a temp window. So again, you have a window where we're considered at temperature. So in this case, 400 degrees is our target temperature. But anywhere from 390 up to 410 is considered at temperature, because you will see fluctuations as you're running your machine, that certain zones will heat and cool as material flows to the machine as the nozzle is making contact with the mold. So this is more of a nuisance eliminator of, hey, if you've dropped too low in temperature in a zone, you're still considered at temperature. You also have a parameter of cycle time. This is how fast the machine cycles through the heating PID loop. So in this example, we're set for 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, we reevaluate how long we should be on. We also have a max on and off for each zone or the solid state relays. By default, we always set everything to 80%. So a solid state relay or a zone heater cannot be on for more than 80%. We don't recommend changing beyond 80%. You are, especially on a warm-up cycle, you would shorten the life of a heater band if you constantly left that heater band on for the several minutes it takes to get up to temperature. So 80%, gives typically a little bit of time for that band to not be constantly under power. You do have PID loop settings, so most of these settings are calculated when we run an auto-tune sequence on the machine. So the Siemens processor has the ability to calculate these values automatically. If for some reason you do not like these values, you do not like how auto-tuning is working, you can press a button here to enable your own manual reset, where you can go in and type in your own values if you want. Turning this button back off will go back to using the factory default, or what was last calculated by the PID loop. The last part is PID output. So again, in that 5-second window, we get to see how much of on and off the solid state relay is being set by the PID loop control. So on a warm-up, you might see 80% for maximum on, and there's a little indicator light also indicating that the output from the PLC is on, commanding the solid state relay to turn on. The next thing below here is the state, whether the system is in auto mode, which is typical of what you want to see. If we turn off the heaters, they'll indicate they're off. And if we start tuning a heater, we will see an indication whether it's running a pre-tune or fine-tune. And on the Siemens controller, there are 2 levels of tuning. We have a pre-tune and a fine-tune. A pre-tune is more for you're doing a cold start. In other words, you're at ambient temperature and you're taking the machine up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're trying to set those PID settings. A fine-tune is more for dialing in what you already have. Both of them take an hour or two to actually run a true auto tune, so this is not a very fast process, something you want to just turn on right before production if you think there is a need. This is something where you want to, if you're going to turn it on, you turn it on and let it run for a little while